Top of the day, beautiful people. Top of the day. Happy Tuesday. It is August the 30th, 2022, day 199 of year 4 of reading through the books of the Law and the Prophets. Another 4-year consecutive day count, day 1117. Today we're picking back up on page 535 in the book of Safa with the tablet of key. All right, beautiful people. Ray, shalom. The net greeting, Shebrew. Hey, girl. Hey, all praises to the Creator. Shalom, faithless family. Tikva. Bless up, sis. Shalom to the faithless. Mom, shalom, shalom. Elijah, Grand Rising. You watch Astro City. It was a great movie. A lot of wasn't it? I told y'all. Anybody else get a chance to watch it? I didn't go back and finish watching the end of it yesterday. I went to sleep again. I was so tired. Tiffany! Sawubona, yeah. Sawubona. All right, y'all. Let's get started. Father, you give life on so many levels. We're going to leave it like that. Okay, y'all. Let's go because I'm already running a few minutes behind. Page 535 in Oahspe. Tablet of key. First of all, let me find a tablet. Okay, yeah. I posted it yesterday. For y'all that don't have Oahspe, you know what? I should have gave you the online link as well because this tablet is online. But you can pull that up. I'll post that when we're done today. I'll go back into my picture where I posted the tablet of key, which is plate 71, and I also put the link so you can see it. All right, so I'm not gonna be describing that much because it'll all look like a bunch of squiggly lines to me. Some of them look like stick figure men standing in different positions. It really looks like Chinese, like if you look at it, it looks like Chinese or Japanese letters. So what I do understand is what it said. Begin at 1 and read downward and then 2. So 1 starts all the way over to the right, column 1. Read column 1 and we're going to go down like that, right? Okay, so okay, so sideways. Okay, so the sounds are under it. You got the box or square, the letter, the angle, whatever. The letter or the sound is like on the left side at the bottom, and you got to flip it around to look at it upright. Okay. All right, so the plate 71 tablet of key is on page 536. The tablet of key, the definitions actually began on a previous page on page 535. Key. Infinite risings. Set apart living. Shalom, sis. Hana, shalom, shalom. Okay. Tablet of key. Alphabetical sounds, panic and chime. Jin, river, woo, small lake. That's verse 2. But 2. It don't really look like it line up with the verses. Good. Oh, it's the sounds. Alphabetical sounds. Jin, but that's an A. E, O, W, Cha. I don't see how this lines up. We'll probably figure it out by the time we get through it. Okay. I'm gonna periodically flip back and forth because I don't see how it lines up yet. Okay. Alphabetical sounds, panic chime. Lavon, shalom. Kendrick, shalom. Stephen, shalom. Jin, river, woo, small lake. Long, large lake. Oak house. Chan city. Chan country. After Chan is reference number 12. And down at the bottom it says Shan. All right, back up. Fada, the earth. Guao, sunlight. Fung, wind. Dan, light. Human understanding. Gitao, sun. Git, moon. Salak, stars. Fuji, the firmament. Sweet. Okay. Yeah, still don't see. If somebody know, let a sister know. Tabitha Shalom, verse 3. Mabau, horse, gal, cow, gan, man, or maybe that's gan. Gan, man. Dugan, woman. G, boy. Okay, so it's definitely giving you the definition right after the sound. Oh, let me just keep going. Okay. Let me just read verse 3 again. Mabau, horse. Gal, cow. Gan, man. Dugan, woman. G, boy. Duji, girl. Aiden, sky. Gachan, life. After Gachan is reference number 13, and it says Gashan, which is also life, right? Sa, death. Da, ground. Shack, rock. Foam, wind. Su, square. Ink or inku, round. Gui or gu, street. Lu, road. Him, sweet. Soap, sour. Ba, six. Ia, cure. Sam shot, war. Duga, sword. Beck, weapon. Fox owl, spear. So, dart, a stone, a sling. M, to go before. Hid, interview. Hout, dissatisfied. Work, spinal. Baumi, goddess of cattle. Son or sangha, one who gives alms grudgingly. Sean or Sean, and it's, the first Sean is Shawn or Sean, Shon. Sean or Sean, a stonecutter. Shaw, a servant. Gota, a plowman. Changum, flax. Hark, dark. Kin, roots or edibles. Ho or hoa, pressure. Mahau, priestess. Gitao, light head, the way is clear. Washa, darkness ahead, a melancholia. Siang, a river ford, a passage. Chin, a great ruler. Gone, pertaining to untruth, romance, fable. Gaup, Gaup, a hostler, a lover of the turf, one who lives indecently with beast. Show, O short. In brackets, it has O short. So the O is short, so I think it's show. Show, decline, falling or fallen. Gaoa, to weave, to make cloth, as cloth, a covering. A poet, one who clothes things. Minban, salute. Minban is salutation, a prayer, supplication, especially standing. Ki, truth, a tribe called Ki, a religious tribe on the continent of Pan. And abused people are also Ki. Ki, learning, one who tries to understand. Guam, sickness, a talisman. Lom, soil, a tiller. Harvest, rich. Hold on, let me see if anybody figuring this out. Jamia, shalom, shalom. The bronze report, shalom. Let's see. Maybe we haven't gotten to it yet. Okay, I'm gonna keep going. Verse 7, page 535. Lun is to sleep, a trance, somnambula, intoxicated. Who, a martial, leader, organized system. I thought I saw who. That's woo. Okay. Lu. Lun. Who. Wait, is that Lun? Lun. Who. Lun. Who. What? Bow. Disa. Okay, so this is weird. It all the way. What I'm reading now. Hold on. I see some of them, but they're all the way over in like 7. Column 7. And it says start at 1, go down, then go over. Ain't no way I done read that much to be all the way over there. I don't know how this is in. I ain't figured it out yet, so I'm gonna just keep reading. But some of them there, I definitely read by. I'm gonna have to study it a little bit more. If y'all know, let me know. Okay. I'll start verse 7 over again on page 535. Lun is to sleep, a trance, somnambula, intoxicated. Who, a martial, leader, organized system. Mahoa or Mahu, to shout. Ba, preach, sing. Disa, young and therefore foolish. Washu, a tribe of hunters, serpent slayers, persons who feed on raw flesh. Mashu, makers of stone weapons, also stone weapons with handles, axes. Kenong or Binang, and Binang has reference number 14 after it, and at the bottom it says Benang. All right. Keong or Benang, young healer of the sick, the gift of spirits. Chaunt, to sing a song, a monotonous sound of not more than 3 notes, continued from sunrise to sunset without ceasing. I'd be to slap somebody. Hold on. Chaunt, to sing a song, a monotonous sound of not more than 3 notes, continued from sunrise to sunset without ceasing. A method of inducing a trance state. Yeah, I seen something like that while looking into like out of body experiences, different ways people put themselves in trances and stuff. And I don't recommend some of the methods, a lot of the methods that I saw. I'm like, that could be dangerous. Trina, hey girl, hey. All right. Chaunt, to sing a song, a monotonous sound of not more than 3 notes, continued from sunrise to sunset without ceasing, a method of inducing the trance state. Sayu, a lawyer, an arbiter, one who fills the place of both lawyer and judge, a modern referee. Hook, to make fast, a bond sworn on the sacred wheel. Eowyn, hold on, let me go back. I read it wrong. Hook, to make fast, a bond sworn on the sacred wheel. Eowyn. Soche, epidemic, a scourge, a judgment. Verse 8, say, S-A-I, and that's faithful. Yeah. Now this right here, verse 7, looks like It begins at line 8 all the way over. Han Sung Soup. Yep. Law. That's definitely the last line. What verse? Well, maybe it is. Hold up. Maybe I'm just looking at it wrong. So, wait. Okay. 7, Lun, 6, Guitar, 5. Hit. Okay. I figured it out. Okay. Let me do this. A, 2. What was throwing me off? Maybe 2, Jin, Woo. Wait, 3, Mabao. 2, Jin, River, Woo. Oh, okay. I'm not going to read it over. Let me just go back and point out what's happening. Okay. So back in verse 1 in the tablet of key, all the way across, all the way down. It's numbered, it's columns, 8 columns, and it's numbered from right to left. The very farthest one to the right is 1, right? And all of 1 going all the way down is 14. It looked like it. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. The rows have different numbers of symbols in it, but all the column of 1 is just sounds. E, O, wa, ch, g, h, n, gi, cock, and whatever the last one is. And for verse 1 is alphabetical sounds, panic and chime. So when you go to verse number 2, it does start. The first one is Jin, but it just goes. So Jin is river. Then you see the next symbol. The second symbol in 2 is Wu. Wu is a small lake. Long is the next one, and that's a long lake. So I guess now that we understand it, we can kind of understand the symbols a little bit more, but it's kind of darkened a little bit, and it's, you stare at it long enough, it'll make sense. Now that I'm seeing, okay. So line 3, Mabao, it starts with Mabao, and Mabao is a horse. Then the next one is Gao, which is cow, right? You can't forget that one, Gao, cow. The next one is a picture of a man, Gan, man, right? Okay, I get it. So all the way back to verse 8, which is the last column, column 8, say or sai, S-A-I, sai. Sai means faithful. I still really can't understand that. All I know is this the left angle. Would it be considered left angle? Right angle. A left angle, right, with the line and a dot and a P and something under that. Okay. So I'm gonna keep reading this verse. So that's where we at. 10, 11, 12. And it's 12 symbols and 8. So 8 on page 535. Say is faithful. Hanyi, multitude, followers, rabble, fates of sacrifice. The next one, sung soup, miscellany. Sung soup is miscellany or like miscellaneous. I think that's what it means. Yeah, sung soup, miscellany. Variety, a people who marry with strangers. Sung soup. It's a soup mixed with a whole bunch of, I get it. Okay. The next one is law. Yep, law. The feathered tribe, feathers. Shoji, a gosling, a gooseling. Well, it's 1-0. A gosling. A gosling or young aquatic bird, a man who cannot go to the hunt or to war without his mother. Oh, yeah, okay. Okay, like a toddler. Ashamed face people. Sean, sharp, particularly witty, to cut right and left, evil prophecy. Bagui, a circus, an exhibition of trained animals, civilization, learning. Maui, a tattling woman. S, spirit, the unseen world. Esfam, the wind that is good. Safam, evil wind. Gut, a plague, a famine, black rot, scabs, and lepers. Okay, so after this, it's a bunch of numbers, and I'm not sure if this is let me see, 8. Maybe it's not a part of verse 8, or this last one, maybe it's just going into, I don't know. I'm going to just read. We're going to figure it out. After verse 8, which would look like verse 9, but it doesn't have a 9, it just starts with saga on page 535. Saga 72, PE 58, Foisu 14, 21, B 74, Chu 15, Fin. Is there a chart with numbers like this? No, it's all still saying it's the tablet of key. 57, 17, 118. Key. I don't know. I'm gonna just keep going. Okay. Saga 72. Pei 58. Foisu 14, 21. Oh, wait. Maybe these are the numbers. I'm gonna just keep going. Saga 72, Pei 58, Foisu 14, 21, B 74, Chu 15, Fin 16, 17, 10, His 35, 19, 22, Te 50, 69, Te 62, Te 54, Chalk 73, Mawal 62, 120, Less 85, 104, Zay 31, Ez or S 3. Thus Jehovah 1, Corpor 2, S3, or third entity, the unseen, the air, and ether. Go 120. That lifts up. Ego 68, Muck 88, Hiss 19, Bo 93, Mabo 94. Seven. Ball, that's ball. Been named. Okay, I'm gonna keep going. Hiss 19, Bo 93, Mabo 94, 17. Watt, the seasons, Zay 62. Hold on. 16, 17. Okay. Bo 93. Mabo 94, 17. Watt, WOT, the seasons. Zay 62. Cain, spelled with a K. Cain to kill. Cain, Kain. Cain to kill. My 55. Yim 55, 5. Nos 58, 25, 99. Dawn 42, 43, 44. Dan 77. Get 39. Get Dawn 58, 70. Toe, 95. Hand, Zand, Psalm Street, 91. Mahan, Pledge. Chaw, to scratch, treachery, 2289. Nasu, Infidel. Fasi, 62, 64, 65, 66. Row, 90, 56. Anubi or Anub, 37, 24, 25. Phi, 54, 73. Jew, JEW or Jew, JU, 75, 76, 47, 48. Sisu, 79. Hoam, 81, 11. Rit, 23, 3. Lodge, 21, 78, 79, 80. Poor, 28, 29, 59, 22. Chapap, 59. Plum, 28. ER, 25. Ya, 98. Owif, Aleph, 1, 100, 101, 102, 103, 104, 105, a prefix. Foul, 67, 71. Die or D, 93, 94. Badan or Ebdan, 1787. Apostrophe, maybe it's apostrophe YE, 60, 68, 69. apostrophe S, 40, 37. Corpor, C, EP 9. So after corpor is reference number 15. After corpor is reference number 15, and 15 at the bottom says CEP or CEP or OR. Okay? Corpor C, EP, EP 9, 1. I'm trying to figure it out, but it looked like it's verse 9 of the tablet of key. All right. Deaf. Fu'ani, downward, earthly. More or mere, 10, 121, 48. And after 48, it has reference number 16, and 16 says 49. So maybe all of these, look at the chart again. Let me see if anybody else figured it out. Anybody else figured it out? Okay, here's my next best guess. Maybe these words have, because some of them, like at the beginning, like saga, unless saga was given somewhere else, it doesn't have a definition that I see here, but maybe saga is representative of the number 72, or maybe 72 is the word saga. But I'm not sure if that's right, because some of these, like Foyc, has 14 and 21. Some of these have multiple numbers, like Lodge. Lodge is 21, 78, 79, or 80. So that probably can't be it, right? I still haven't figured out. I don't know. Okay. Funi, downward, earthly. More or mare, Mare, 10, 121, 48. Soar, less. Thus, if a man be called mare, his picture would be called soar or sare. Soar, less. More or mare, 10, 120. Hold on. 10. But it's not 12. I don't know. Fritz, shalom. I don't know. We're still figuring out. Let me keep going. Soar is S apostrophe ORE. Soar, less. Thus, if a man be called Mer, his picture would be called Sor or Ser. So More or Mer is the reference before Sor. More or Mer, 10, 121, 48. Sor, less. Thus, if a man be called Mer, his picture would be called Sor or Ser. Fruit or Fruit. What? FREW apostrophe D. Freud, like shrewd. Freud or Freud or Freud. Look like Freud to me. FRUED. Freud or Freud, a working tool. Iggy or Iggy, incomplete. Gand, hold on. Gand, GAN apostrophe D, 71. Who, 71. I know I seen who. Who is down here in 7? It's number 2. Who, 7, 1. Wait. Who? Maybe. No, that can't be it. Because ain't no 10s. And it's not a 9. I was about to say who is in column 7. It has 71. So maybe it's 7, the first one, but it's not. It's the second one. I don't know. I'm going to keep going. God, 71. Who, 71. Low tack, 3 in 1. QUI, force, 7. NICU, 86. Desirous of light. Phoebo or Tiba, beast like. Samdu, 3, 43. Desam, the great lights, Jehovah, the sun, and burning flame, and the 3 lesser lights, angels, mortals, and beasts. Sam, X apostrophe SAM, or exam, the 3 great, the 3 less darknesses. Dot, 24, 77, 39. Eodan, 87, 9, 72. OC, 9, 116, 106. 2, 78, 79, 38. Ka, 83, 13. Ha, 1, 32, 57. He, 17. Dom, 7, 1, 47. All the world save the great spirit. Let any man enumerate the things thereof. Samaeums, 2370. Sig, 68, 58, 26, 27. Gex, 41, 14, 18. D or Dix, DIX, 4, 6, 67. Bud or Bat, cornerstone. Li, Li, beginning. Aleph, especially laying a foundation for a house. Ga, an earthly house. Vil, VIL, invention. Siaz, altar of incense. 72. Kiyi, faithful. 8. That's Sai, verse 8. Column 8. Okay. Sai, Kiyi. Sai, Kiyi. They both are faithful. Okay. Let me just do this. I don't know. I'm trying to find something that help me figure this out. Okay. Kiyi, faithful. Esgan, 3, 111. O, 2, sky. Onum or Om, all things under the sky. All the corporal world is a womb, and the voice thereof is the sum of it all. Lu, the mover of all. O, 2, sky. On or Om. Okay. O, 2, sky. On or Om, all things under the sky. All the corporal world is a womb, and the voice thereof is the sum of all. Lu, the mover of all. Ganis 22, 111, Sa 41, Uss 41, i.e. Seus. All things are against all things. Why repenteth my soul for peace and love, O Eolin? The four O's being the four entities, soul, peace, love, and Eolin. As now, spirit and love underlie all. Bill 82. Me 55:20. Roar a loud noise. Ganbao a man like a lion. When he speaketh, others tremble. Ganbin a fallen foe. Gan 118. Also stone instruments. Axe, hatchet, a threat of war. Dua 33. Kuang food. Axum sword, knife. Dan hiss, even in darkness, the light of the Father shines. Su, his voice is in the birds. Ray, truth. Con or Con, the first Con is Con or Con, Kon, low down. Jaf, that unfoldeth the two great lights, Om and Jehovah. Ong, so, okay, so remember when it did Om yesterday in the tablet of, what was it? Being? Was it tablet of being yesterday? Yeah, tablet of being, verse 10. It's, remember, Om panic, the negative of Jehovah, the female. So remember, male is positive, female is negative, right? Just like power sources that come together, you got the plug and you got the socket, right? The socket is the female, the male with the prongs, the thing that point out. Think about it, men point out. They, they project. It goes into the negative, and there you have power. And you can see that on so many levels, right? In electricity, male and female, us in relation to the creator, right? We're the female in relation to the creator. All this stuff. We have male and female within our own bodies. Our flesh is considered male. The spirit is considered female, if you want to use those terms, right? Or you can use positive and negative. Male being positive, female being negative, right? Okay, so Om panic, the negative of Jehovah, the female, that projecteth is positive, that receiveth is negative. Gal, let those that desire to receive spiritually ask of Om, and those that go forth in might return thanks to Eolin, Zarathustra. And we back. I skipped back to page 532 in the tablet of Being, reading this about Om, right? Okay. Let those that desire to receive spiritually ask of Om, and those that go forth in might return thanks to Eolin, Zarathustra. Power cometh not by supplication, but by going forth. Spiritual gifts come not by going forth with might, but by waiting in supplication. Brahma. Nevertheless, the all one is but one, but with two attributes, Cosmon. Brahma said, O Om, give thou to my soul, O Eolin. I am going forth to labor. Be thou with me, Vede. The ever-present Om, the ever-present Eloah said, two attributes gave I, the all self to every man, and the Om and the Na, negative and positive, that he might hold discourse within himself. And seeking a wife, see to it that Om is her transcendent virtue. You don't want to get a female, that her transcendent virtue is what is positive, what they call positive. That it didn't give a term for positive, but Om is a term for female for the negative, right? If you're positive, the male is positive, not in like attitude, but you should be positive in your attitude. But electricity wise, right? And putting the elements together, if your charge is positive, her charge should be mostly negative. Otherwise, you're gonna have some problems, right? You can look at females that are not, I ain't gonna say not charged the right way. We'll go with the unright, right? Maybe she's not charged all the way and she got more positive charge, then negative charge, then you start seeing like, I'll just say manly attributes to that woman, right? So sis needs to be charged the right way. Everything in her life has been charging her the wrong way, right? Which caused her to take on masculinity attributes. And the same is true with men. If they have more feminine attributes, not that they play for the pink team, they just could have, maybe they was, and I can't even say that's true because my brother was raised in a house full of women and he's the manliest man of all men I've ever seen, right? So that's not necessarily true, but there are some things in life that it tips their charge or charges them or releases some of their charge in certain ways that could be detrimental to them, right? Men should be a positive charge, women negative charge to get the proper power, right? Proper power. When you bring the two entities together, male and female, you get power, right? Plug a plug into a socket, you get light to the house. Hold on, let me use, look at this, right? Proper charge is wired correctly, right? And when I flip the switch, voila, we get light. When male and female come together, what do we produce? We produce another light entity. Voila, right? A new baby will be born some of the time, right? If you sometimes, oops, by mistake, oh, we pregnant. Or sometimes we try, voila, eureka, we made it, right? We did it. Okay, let me read this again just because it's good. Page 532, back in the tablet of being, verse 10, panic. The negative of Jehovah, the female, that projecteth is positive, that receiveth is negative, gal. Let those that desire to receive spiritually ask of and those that go forth in might return thanks to Eolin, Zarathustra. Power cometh not by supplication, but by going forth. Spiritual things come not by going forth with might, but by waiting in supplication. Brahma. Nevertheless, the all one is but one, but with two attributes. Cosmon. Brahma said, O give thou to my soul, O Eolin. I am going forth to labor. Be thou with me. Vede. The ever-present the ever-present Eloah said, two attributes gave I, the all self, to every man self, the and the na, the negative and positive, that he might hold discourse within himself, right? So you can be whole as a single because you hold both charges within yourself to be balanced, right? But if you seek to find another half, then your charge becomes your predominant charge for your particular gender or sex, right? So you make sure you find somebody with the opposite charge. How you know they got the opposite charge? You can see that projective. If there's a male, they got piping that comes out and it hangs out from their body. If it projects from their body, that's the opposite of you. It don't matter if they go have surgery and stuff done. The insides is still created to be a projector. So it don't matter now that you don't project. Now you got things that can go into you. It still don't change a charge, right? Your spirit is connected to the flesh. It's a whole science that the creator has did. And you ain't changing that with your man-made tools, cutting and slicing and mending stuff. That's why it still seem out of whack, because your spirit is not splicing to your flesh that you're trying to change. It ain't splicing correctly. You done unspliced it, and it's going to be unspliced till you do it correctly. For that, you need to go back to the creator. Hey, fix me. I done screwed it up. Two attributes gave I, the all self, to every man's self, the and the na, negative and positive, that he might hold discourse within himself. Vede. In seeking a wife, see to it that is her transcendent virtue. Otherwise, she will be as a thorn in thy side. Abraham. You ever see it? Let me keep going. I was about to talk about this thorn in the side. You ain't never really seen no dude for real with his woman, and she just as manly and saying, "Hey, dude, let's go eat, Bo. All right, dude, let's go eat." I mean, that would be a freak show in itself. Because when we would look at them, we wouldn't. First of all, we wouldn't think that they were a couple, husband or wife or whatever. Because that's it. Don't look like that to us. Oh, y'all real good friends. maybe cousins, bros, bro, bro, y'all something, but you can't be lovers, right? You don't see lovers that do the same. It's an unnatural. It just, even children can tell. Even children can tell, no matter how much we try to nice it up. Listen, in seeking a wife, see to it that is her transcendent virtue. Otherwise, she will be as a thorn in thy side, Abraham. Until a man have in the ascendant, he shall not hear nor see the great spirit, Zarathustra, because you're all out of whack. Is the door is closed. The light cannot come on. There is no power. You can't have two projectiles coming together. I mean, the light stays off. That's why you can't hear and you can't hear and you can't see. Get the right tools for the job. Let your young men seek employment that calleth not forth Na, but rather Brahma. Okay, so let's go back where we was at. I can't even call out a verse because it ain't a verse. Okay, page 536. The right paragraph, 1, 2, 3, 4. The fourth line from the bottom, right? Where it begins, two great lights. So go back up. Let's go from the top. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. Forget it. Let's start at the top, Seuss. Seuss, all things are against all odds. Why repenteth my soul for peace and love, O Eolin? The four O's being the four entities: soul, peace, love, and Eolin. S now, spirit and love underlie all. Build 82. Me 5520. Roar a loud noise. Gan bow a man like a lion. When he speaketh, others tremble. Gan bend a fallen foe. Gone 118. Also stone instruments. Axe, hatchet, a threat of war. Dua 33. Kuwag, food. Axum, sword, knife. Dan hiss, even in darkness, the light of the Father shines. I needed to highlight that. Right. So remember, hiss, anytime we see hiss is representative of a snake, darkness. Dan hiss mean even in darkness, the light of the Father shines. That might be our title. Su, his voice is the birds. Ray, truth. Khan or Khan, low down. Jaff, that unfoldeth the two great lights, Om and Jehovah. And that's where we went back to the tablet of being. Ong, all growth cometh out of darkness. Hawu Iu, 6, 7. Pisu, earth man and angel man, who shall find the way for their coming together? Toi, Toi, is time. Beck, 66. Sax, SACX, harvest. W, all for man. And that is the end of the tablet of key. Where we at? 49 minutes. Now it has Zerl, right? So there is and Zerl on page. Okay. So page 537 starts Zerl, which is the tablet of Zerl. And the tablet of Zerl is on the next page 538. But also plate 74 is in Zerl. Okay, let's not go to that because that goes with Kadeth is. Okay, so tablet of Zerl is pretty short and it has no numbers for verses. We just got to figure it out. You know what? Before I go any further, I didn't even show y'all. The tablet we just finished reading, the tablet of key, is this right here. I did mention that I took a picture of it yesterday, right? And put it in there. So that's that. Look like Chinese letters. What you say, Tabitha? Happy wife, happy life. That's what they say. There's another one that they say too, I forgot, but it includes the man and a woman, right? I forget what it is. My husband told me one time. I was like, oh, but I like that saying. It includes the both of us. I forget what it is though. Somebody know, put it in there. Got your headphones. All these symbols is the language of the ancients, as English is to us. We also see these writings on the pyramid. Okay, cool. The tablet of key is what you was talking about, Tabitha. All the symbols. I think so. All right. The artist from Crackhead Willie. Where you been, man? Shalom. Okay, thanks, Tabitha. Look, if y'all been here a while, y'all know he came in. He still got the same picture. His name used to be Crackhead Willie. He changed it every now and then. It's funny every time. This time is the artist formerly known as Crackhead Willie. Shalom, brother. Okay, Zerl, Tablet of Zerl, plate 73. For interpretation, see Be'in, Poit, and Samoan key. Begin at 1 and read downward, then at 2, etc. Okay, so on page 538. Okay, I see the numbers now off to the side. It's this one. I take a picture of this today, right? So for this one, the numbers are over here. So you turn it sideways, and the numbers go from 1 to 11. 1 being over here all the way down to 11, right there. So it says start at 1. What does it say? Read down. Begin at 1 and read downward. Then at 2, etc. Okay. And these look like pictures of animals. Clearly, I see a pelican, camel, fox. It looked like a fox. It looked like a dragon. All right, so let's go back. But for the interpretation, see Being and Samoan, or Poits and Key. All right. Get 1 out. See, here we go again. Oh, wait, I don't know. The offspring of these tribes. I'm going to just read it. It's a bunch of words. Okay, with no numbers. There's no numbers here except for the references down at the bottom. Okay. Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome, Willie. Or the artist formerly known as Crackhead Willie. Okay, Zero. Radical words in Chine and is an Algonquin. Get Ao sun. Washa priest. Siang stars. Chin throne. Gone silver. Gope foot. Show hand. Gloom heart. Minbo bread. Ken take. Guan food. Lam woods. Who good. Mahu bad. Ba wise. Dissa captain. Washu high priest. Mawashu woman high priest. Okay, so I get it. Like the negative and a positive. I see here anything that has like the negative charge or the woman. Why we got to be negative, right? It's just our Western teaching negative. Why we all but it's referring to the negative charge that okay. But anyway, anything with the M is Mahu is a bad, right? Negative. Mawashu, woman high priest, where the Washu is the high priest or the positive. Okay, so just hold on, Washa. It's just the what do you call it? The prefixes. So the prefix with the M, it always refers to the negative or woman, the negative charge, whatever. Okay. Washu, high priest. Mawashu, woman high priest. Bewong, church. Chant, sing. See you, laugh. Hook, cry. Sashi, starve. Say, die. Hanji, birth. I just thought about something going back to the negative. I can kind of see this. Maybe I'm trying to help the Christians out. I really am. Because I'm like, those are brothers and sisters. They still sleep. We got to figure out a way how to help them get unstuck in Lou amongst teaching. Like, I really been thinking about this the last couple of days. How, like, Father, how do we help them? Because anytime you go to them, it's like, Jesus, no, anything other than Jesus, false doctrine. I'm like, first of all, we need to undo what Paul did, right? Paul has told them, if anybody come preaching another gospel, let them be accursed, even if it be an angel. They done already from jump then taught them not to listen to nobody else. How do we break the curse of what Paul said? I think that's our biggest thing in order to get to them, right? Because if you can break the words that the curse that Paul said, some of them might wake up just a little bit, right? And then I don't know, maybe it's just because it's my path to light, right? Breaking the curse and t- removing the scales and blinders off my eyes. I went because I was thoroughly steeped in New Testament, right? I could rattle off verses and scriptures out of Matthew, everything, you know. You got to go from there being Jesus is everything to actually start reading some of the words that Jesus said. Well, shoot, well, we worshiping Jesus, but he said worship only the Father. That's interesting. Why it has to start somewhere. And for me, I had to backtrack. I had to like go in reverse order with everything that I was currently doing at the moment, right? So I'm like, do everybody need to go through that process? Or is there a not necessarily a shortcut, but do everybody have to go through that long process of backtracking? Because backtracking, I went from New Testament to like, Jesus, who is you really? Is you the Father or is you the Son? Or is you both? How can you be both? How can you be talking to yourself on the throne? If you was down here, who was up there? Like all these questions, right? So you go through this, and then it's like, okay, well, let's see what the Father said in the Old Testament. And that's how I got hooked on Torah. And Torah, I'm like, Torah, everything. Y'all, everything. Then I realized the changes and what he said over here didn't line up with what Jesus was saying over here. It's like, do everybody have to go through that process? Is there a shorter way to wake people up, right? Or do they have to go through this process of seeing everything? Because I think, at least from my own personal experience, I think it was needful for me because of how steeped in tradition I was. And this may not be the case for people that just you a C&E Christian, Christmas and Easter only, right? You may not have to go through this long process because you ain't really hold tight to anything anyway. So we can really just give you the truth. I knew something was wrong about them Christians. This is why I only went to church twice a week. And then my mama made me go. Right? I think their process would be a whole lot shorter than those who have been truly steeped in it, right? So my biggest thing now is I'm trying not to. I joke on Christians a lot. Now I'm like, man, sometimes I wish I hadn't said some things that I said. Now that I know we got to help them, I'm like, those are brothers and sisters. Okay, how can because they take everything being there because they take everything personally, like a shot to them, assassinating their Lord and Savior. How can we get to them without doing that to them until they can understand what has happened to them, if that makes sense, right? So it's like I'm trying to use wisdom on how to use honey to catch them, right? You can catch way more flies with honey than you can with vinegar, right? We talked about that the other day. We just gonna call it vinegar, right? So with me, I'm used to kind of being sweet anyway, right? Pamela actually mean, one who is as sweet as honey, right? So that's the way I operate. So I'm looking, okay, how can I get their attention without offending them or what they perceive to be an offense or striking against their religion, something that they hold near and dear to their heart, that has been everything to them, that has given them everything. Because I don't necessarily want to do that, right? I do want to break up the lies, right? And I'm trying to see how can we just get them without saying just throw the Bible away, read the Oahspe, because they just going there, that ain't gonna happen. They just not gonna do that, right? We have to show them the value that Oahspe brings to help bring further enlightenment to what they're reading, right? Even if what they're reading, what we enlighten them to, it's a bunch of lies, right? Or we need to clarify the truth from the error. That's the way I'm looking at this now. How at least that way they'll they might be willing to look at Oahspe, right? So, because you can't, I don't know, it's just like a whole process. I'm just kind of like looking at it and how to present certain things, so because we gotta help them recover all their senses so they can think for themselves and realize what is a trap, what is not, what is good for the soul, for the raising up of us and our brothers and sisters around us, right? Okay. So, but yeah, definitely. It's definitely a process, Kendrick. Okay. Where did I stop? Oh, let's go back to shu, washu. Washu, 1, 2, 3. The fourth line down, the last two words in the fourth line. Washu, high priest. Ma washu, woman high priest. Bewong, church. What? Look, I didn't even go that far to get to church. And I just told y'all my whole thing, what I've been thinking about. Okay. Bewong, church. Chaunt, sing. See you, laugh. Hook, cry. Sashi, starve. Say, or SAI, say, die. Hanji, birth. Sing soap, twinkling stars. Law, fixed. Hold on. Some of these same words over here in the tablet are key, but they definitely mean different things. Sing, oh wait, hold on. Maybe that was wrong. Sing soap, sing, what was that? It was the mixture. I'm not, but I ain't gonna go back. We're just gonna keep going. But I definitely, maybe it's varied a little bit. Okay. Sing soap, twinkling stars. Law, fixed. Shoji, axe. Shu or Shan or Joss, a man god. Yeah, we definitely learned about that the other day. It's the same. Shu or Shan or Joss, man god. Bagui, goddess of lust. Okay. Bagui, goddess of lust. Newi, evil goddess. S, spirit or spirit world. That's something that's constant through all of the tablets and all of the languages. So to speak is S, spirit or spirit world. S, foam, spirit messenger. Gut, carnal. You know what? Hold on. I was saying something. The whole reason why I broke in the last time, um, it'll come back to me about why I think the Christians, they got half of it, but they don't get the end part, which is keeping them unhooked from truth, so to speak. It'll come back to me. I realized that yesterday. Okay, so they get like half the picture, but they don't get the rest of it because. Okay, I, example. You know how the Christians talk about you gonna burn in hell forever, right? And some people even have dreams about hell and have experiences and they felt hell and all that stuff and the fire and all that. But reading Oahspe, the fire, the chambers and the walls of fire, those walls of fire were not set up by like devils, right? That was actually the process. Like if a Christian has that type of dream or experience, maybe they're dreaming, if they could be foreseeing something, but they didn't see the end of the matter. I'm gonna come back to it, but remember when we talked about the Disney movie, we don't talk about Encanto, right? Remember the vision that Bruno had, right? And he was just running scared, right? He's like, oh my gosh, everything I touch, I keep having all these visions, and all of this stuff is everybody's losing his hair. He done grew a fat gut. Her goldfish done died. Everything Bruno prophesies is true, right? Bruno had a vision, but his vision, he never sees the full, complete end of his vision, right? This is what I realize is happening with the Christians. They're like Bruno, so they're seeing some of this. Some stuff is true, right? Some stuff you cannot deny that they see is true, right? So that's what I'm trying to bring in, like the mismatch. I was like, okay, so why is this? You know, they're not seeing the end part of it. Why? Because Bruno has disconnected himself, right? Think about it. We don't fool around with no you ain't a Christian. If you ain't a Christian, we don't fool with you, right? Boom, we keep to ourselves. Bruno has separated himself, right? But we need Bruno. Bruno has a part of the picture. What happens? Maribel, right? She also had the gift of she had a lot of gifts, right? But her gift with the lot of gifts was like the gift to bring everybody else's gift together to it was like it was kind of, I'll call it like the administration gift to bring to see where everybody's gift fits in the puzzle. You come over here, you come over here. Think about businesses. You have administrators who administrate the different positions. You go here, this gonna work together here. You will work better over here because of your training. Come over here, right? That's what Maribel was. And as she was growing, that's why she didn't get her gift at the very beginning. Like, what is my gift? Oh, she has no gift. Not realizing her gift was I ain't gonna say the biggest gift, but is a really important part of the picture of all the gifts, because this gift needs time to develop. You have to understand all the other gifts, how all the other gifts work, to be able to bring everybody together, to get them to work on the same page. And then once you go through this process, this level of schooling, then your gift will begin to shine, and everybody will see, oh my God, all this time your gift is the most powerful. You have the gift to see over everybody else's gift and bring it all together, right? Because remember, everybody, they got a doorknob, right? With their gift, doing their little ceremony. Voila, what is your gift? You get a doorknob and everything. Like your room is full and it's redesigned supernaturally to go with whatever your gift is, right? Maribel didn't get hers until the very end. Why? Also with Bruno's dream, it took Maribel to come and look at Bruno's gift to see what he was seeing. Okay, yeah, the family is torn apart. Like the foundation of the house is broken down. Think about, y'all go back and watch this again and look at it with spiritual eyes. I know people got some crazy crap to say about Disney and their movies, but there are some people in Disney, whether they know or whether they don't know, a lot of this stuff is really spiritual. And if you listen to Christians give interpretation of Disney movies, it gives that same Bruno type prophecy about everything that they do. But if you have somebody that looks at it from Maribel's side, remember, all the way to the end, even after the house had crumbled, everything that everybody said, what everybody saw came true, and everybody was freaking scared. What are we going to do? The house has burned to the ground. Casita is no more. And here's Maribel sitting amongst the ashes trying to figure out what went wrong. And everybody is mad at her because she's asking questions and she's bringing out obvious things about what is happening. No, don't say none of this would have happened if you wouldn't have gone looking for Bruno. We're going to bring Bruno home, right? It's called you never Kendra, you never seen Encanto? We don't talk about Bruno, no. We don't talk about Bruno. Listen, it's called Encanto. I'm gonna share a clip. I'm gonna reshare a clip, but y'all gotta go watch that. If y'all got Disney Plus, it's up there, right? Look, we got on Disney Plus. When we ride in the truck, I got the DVD for it. They put on Encanto, right? Even my kids can point out things about this, right? Look, so what happens is, as Maribel's gift is developing and she's looking at everybody else's gift, and different family members will see they might not necessarily can see Mirabelle's gift. They look at Mirabelle as a troublemaker because you're ruffling feathers, but Louisa is losing her strength. How do we explain this? And Louisa like, oh my God, I can't do all what I did, but it takes Mirabelle's gift to see what's happening, right? Remember, grandma held the flame, right? Casita, the flame that sat in the middle of Casita. Casita is the house. They named the house Casita. The flame that kept burning was like the source of the magic of the family, right? And when the flame started getting low, Mirabelle started seeing the family. Started seeing the what? What did you say?
Are you talking about Encanto?
Yes, I'm talking about Encanto. Look, they all come down here like, look, they love Encanto. Look. Yeah, look, Mom, the artist formerly known as Crackhead Willie.
Mom, can he said, ended?
No, Bella already asked when she have cracked her eyes open. I watched Encanto so many times, but never really watched it fully through. I'm gonna really watch it next time because I didn't know it was deep and good. Yeah, it was this deep and good. It surely is. And some people, when they watch it, I just don't understand how, it's like, wait, really? Did you watch it? Oh, you didn't get that? I don't know. I don't be watching movies trying to spiritualize things. It's just from the very beginning, I'm like, oh, snap. Right. And immediately I see Christians, I see Hebrews, and all the different people in there. Okay, so back to the point. Tootie, go back. So I was thinking, I was like, okay, so Christians, when you listen to them, they like prophesy. Guys, just wait a minute, okay? That is really good.
Show them.
Okay, Sai is working on his drawings. Okay. Very good. Strong muscle man. Awesome drawing, son. Okay, take that back through there. So, yes, I already told you that. Going back through there. Thank you. We'll be at hour and 12 minutes. We're going to end after the tablet of zero. It's pretty short. We almost done anyway. But let me finish saying this. Right? So Christians have this, oh yeah, Babylon is going to burn to the ground and all this stuff, right? But I want y'all to really pay attention to the prophecies that Christians be giving, right? America's going to come to you or whatever, Babylon, all this and all that. And I know I jumped from the example from hell, but I'm going to come back to that, right? Listen, but now that we understand what we understand, hold on, make sure I don't forget. Hold on. So I can backtrack. Hell, fire. Look at this, y'all. Look at this. This was like blowing my mind yesterday while I was thinking about this. I'm like, oh, snap. Because the more I thought about it, the more I began to see it. I'm like, okay. So Babylon is going to burn. They're trying to shut down. Think about when COVID happened and the churches started shutting down. Boy, that was one of the best days of my life. I'm like, shut them all down. All of them. Don't open them back up. Right? I'm like, this has to happen for y'all's people to wake up. Like, so that was one like the highlights of COVID for me when the churches shut down. Because when the churches shut down, you can stop peddling this garbage to people and they can wake up, right? You can stop inoculating them with this disgusting doctrine that you keep giving to them that they think is truth and is lies, or you're giving them half-cocked truths and they can't see clearly. Right. So I'm like, burn the churches to the ground. I'm like, burn the Bibles too. You got these movies Left Behind, they burning the Bibles. Oh my God, the church gonna have to go underground. I'm like, yo, y'all not seeing it. You're not seeing this. This must happen for truth to rise. But the Christians don't see the end of the vision. They just see the bad parts at the beginning, the process that it's going to take to get there. But they stop at the process of breaking everything down. The Encanto, Casita, burning to the ground. What happened after Casita burnt to the ground, right? What was keeping Casita? Think about the grandmother who was holding up the farce that the magic was still there. Days of old, what we learned about, oh my gosh, what we learned about here in Oahspe, about what the Creator said, that he allowed the Torah to be burnt. He allowed these things from the past to be burnt because that was for then. I'm trying to show you something new now. If you're trying to hold people to these old things, the new people, the new generation is coming in with the gifts and the power for this generation. You keep them locked down. Now they don't know what to do. Nobody is teaching them. They're going off. They're getting hooked on drugs. They're trying to find a way to release the magic that's within them. And the old people in office are holding them down. That's the devil. No, you're going to go to hell. This and all this kind of crazy crap. Burn the house to the ground. burn the books with them. We need to give life to the generation that's here because you're smothering them with your doctrine. Burn it all, burn it again, burn it again, right? I'm like, holy crap. This is what's happening in the church. We're trying to burn down Lou Among's doctrine to wake our brothers and sisters up so they can see the truth. At the end of Encanto, when Maribel found Bruno, he was hot. Bruno never left home, but he left home. He left and hid within the walls of the house, still watching the family when they would eat dinner. He had built the table on the other side of the wall. With a plate drawn in. So anytime the family would eat, he would eat, but the family never knew he was there. But he was there all the time. Nobody else could see them. One of the girls, and I even bought the little figurines. I got it. It's up in my closet. With everybody's gift. Who was it? The girl that could hear everything. She heard Bruno in the house. She said, I hear him within the walls, right? But she didn't really say nothing because her gift was to hear. And she literally heard everything. You couldn't even whisper miles away. That was her gift. She's going to hear it, right? And so when Maribel was whispering to, I believe it was the other sister, I forget, she said, nobody's going to know. And she was the sister who could hear. She said, I know. And they looked because she heard everything. Look, right, scaring them into not. Hold on, let me go back to what you say. The Christians put the boogeyman at the door to keep people in the dark by keeping them away from watching. Elijah, right? They don't realize that they are seeing the destruction of the wicked system of this world, right? Scaring them into not watching, right? They are being scared and forced into a way where they don't really see this is really for their overall deliverance, but all they know is the ways and the teachings of their religion within the Babylonian system, not even realizing that their teaching and wisdom is Babylonian. It truly, most of it is not really from the creator if they go back, and they're scared to go back and look at that. Okay, let me get to the point. So they are seeing, but they're not seeing to the end of it, to where they see the restoration, right? So when Maribel, she said, Bruno, make a long story short, pull up the vision. Let's look at the vision again, right? And so they got into the wide space. The vision is going, right? And what Bruno didn't see, Maribel saw at the end of the destruction casita burning down. There was a blade of grass that grew up, which represented new life, and there was a butterfly, right? So after casita burnt to the ground, the vision actually continued to play out. Everybody's distraught because Casita's no more. The magic is gone. We're just like regular people, and we might as well go out here and live in the city with everybody else, right? Everybody's at this point. Maribel, like, what did I miss? What did I miss? What did I miss? Her grandmother out there because grandma was trying to hold everything in place, lying to everybody. The wine is strong, the magic is high. Let's keep partying, right? And Maribel, no, I seen the floor cracking up. The house is about to go to the ground. Grandma holding up the farce that everything is okay. When the house burnt down and the candle went out, that put grandma out the way, who held the reins over everything. Think about the government. The old people sitting in office, and people are scared to go up here and run for these seats to get these old farts out of office. Y'all should have been gone. Matter of fact, you should be in the S world, my G. Yeah, you still want to sit your old decrepit butt up here in these government seats and lord over with this old false doctrine that's keeping the world upside down. But if you don't move, I promise you, I'm gonna right in your throat. Um, so the way that the government system teaches you to run for office, it's like smut campaigns. You running, everybody dig up dirt on everybody. That is the wrong way to run a campaign. There should be a group of people very well trained in the laws and the ways of government, and it should be a group of y'all. Y'all should go through this plan. We gonna run for every single last one of these chairs that's up for re-election, and everybody needs to get a seat, right? Everybody ain't gonna make it. I say like this: if it's 2 seats available, probably 10 people need to run for them 2 seats. And these 10 people don't need to be fighting against each other. They need to understand what's happening, understand the 2 seats that was there, their position, understand you, get your life cleaned up, right? But once you fall out the race, when you're running, when you step away and you no longer can be in the race because your points are not up, don't come in and throw smut on the people. Find out who you're gonna fall behind and push them in, because people, they fall out the race and then they start doing the whole smut tactic campaign, and that doesn't work. We want to make sure truly righteous people get in these seats. So when you fall out, fall behind them to make sure, even if it's not you, another righteous, well-trained person can get here, right? And if you fall away, fall behind and let's push them, because they don't need to keep the seats, right? You can flood the whole government system with righteous people by using a tactic opposite from what they do. Nobody throws smut on anybody. First of all, make sure your life is cleaned up so nobody can find garbage on you anywhere. If there's something in your life that it ain't gonna look too bad, you need to bring that out first. And it needs to first of all, it needs to be righteously cleaned up. And it needs to be, you need to make amends, all this stuff. And you need to phrase it and bring it out first before media could ever get a chance to dig into it. You need to put yourself on Front Street first, because you can phrase it. If you phrase it first, it's like the one, it's like first impressions stick. If you're the one that phrased this the right way, then you would be able, it's like you already won the hearts of the people. Oh yeah, they told us about that already. And be really transparent, right? So like people get caught up in adultery scandals and all this stuff. If you're running for office and you know you don't have a squeaky clean background, and you committed adultery left and right, but you and your spouse decided to work through it, y'all got help, y'all got healing, y'all made sure, okay, is this everybody? Is there somebody off in some other closet, another skeleton? Is it a child somewhere, a love child? We're gonna be honest about this, because when you get to places that you get higher up and you become like leaders and stuff, there are those negative entities that look for things to bring you down and throw dirt on your name. You need to take care of all of that first. Clean your life up. Like Oahspe teaches you, get this stuff together. Like do this before you're gonna have to do this. Do this, then run for office, right? And you phrase it. I'm not sure when you're gonna bring it out, but you need to bring it out, right? Go talk in places where you're trying to get the votes of people or whatever. Just be transparent. Talk about your path to leadership or whatever, your path to presidency. Yeah, and we work through things. We're human beings. Like we had issues with adultery, whatever. However you want to phrase it, but you need to phrase it first for the people, so the people who get the half cock story don't get you all chopped and screwed while you out there, and you just killed yourself before you even get started good because you didn't use wisdom, right? Same thing should happen with people running for office. You're running groups of people. We're not gonna use the tactics of the smut campaign, doing commercials about other people and what they did and didn't do. We all here. Whether you get in, I'm gonna support you. Whether you get in, I'm gonna support you. Male or female, we're gonna support one another. May the best man win. And if we don't win, we're gonna fall behind. We're gonna support you. That way, it moves and we can get these seats replaced immediately, right? And righteous people. And some of these terms should be cut really short, right? Because here, and well, I don't live in that region anymore, but there is somebody who holds a seat in the House of Representatives. Nobody, for like the first couple of years he was in there, maybe like 2 renewal terms, I looked into it, somebody came up against him, right? But he still won. Nobody won, right? And so now for the next consecutive years, he's holding his seat like he's a Supreme Court judge. 14 years, you still sitting here, and I'm looking at what you done did. You haven't done anything. 14 years, you holding this seat, sitting here doing nothing, like just dust. Somebody need to come. I'm like, I'm gonna run for this seat, but still got little babies and all that stuff. It's not my time yet. I'm like, somebody need to run against this dude. Get him out of here. He's doing nothing for this city. You got downtown looking like crap, and he running around here doing all this for them. I was like, but you got a whole city right here, these underprivileged children, like all this stuff. Like that's an eyesore for the whole city. Matter of fact, it's called bad news. When you say Newport News, people automatically think bad news. What are you doing? Nothing, right? You need to go. We're the people we got a lot of people talking garbage, talking junk about the people who ain't doing nothing. But what are y'all doing? Y'all should be taking these seats. Isn't that what government is about? It's the spokesperson for the people, and the spokesperson should come from the people, right? It should be a a cycle of fresh new blood coming through these seats for government, right? They should be coming in. It shouldn't be these same older people holding these seats. Boy, I'm hot now about this. look, look. You can tell I'm really passionate about this. Let me get back. Turn it down just a little bit, y'all. But anyway, all of this goes together, right? Half seeing stories, right? And it's just doom and gloom. The government mark of the beast, they taking us here, and they can't see they can't see the end of the vision of what's happening. You need them to come together with those who can see, with the gift of administration, who can see. Listen, here, calm down. This has to happen. Let's show you why. When you bring them together, this is going to happen, and everybody can begin to live in peace and righteousness, right? Okay. So let me go back to my example about hellfire, right? Okay, so at the end of the vision, what happened was Casita was rebuilt, the magic was even stronger, and everybody of that next generation had their gifts. They were now in a proper environment where their gifts could flourish for that generation. Casita was built new. Like I said, magic came back. The candle was lit again, right? Grandma had taken, although she didn't die, grandma had taken the back seat. She realized her time of ruling and governing was over, and now it was Mirabelle's time, right? Mirabelle became the next matriarch of the family, right? In the house of Casita, and the magic could flow, right? Because think about I keep forgetting the names. Remember the daughter who was perfect, Mirabelle's sister, and Mirabelle, who? Isabel, yeah, Isabel, right? Isabel and Mirabelle they were sisters, but they had this thing. Mirabelle's like, Isabel is so perfect and she gets everything. You can pick a husband for her and everything is just all flowery and beautiful. And she makes me sick. She's just Miss Perfect, right? But grandma was like, leave her alone, that she's perfect. Yes, darling, what would you like? She coddled her. But in coddling Isabel was completely, she really didn't like her life. Although when she came and she walked flowers, or you get flowers and you get flowers, she hated her life because she felt like she had to be this certain way because grandma said she had to be this way. When on the inside of her, there was so much more creativity that was coming out of her. And when her and Mirabelle finally had it out, and she said, just give me a hug. She's like, you know what, just be free. Be you, right? And as she was being her, she created something even more beautiful and more colors. Some things were beautiful, some things were short. Like she created cactuses that bloom, right? She said, we didn't even know a cactus could bloom. I didn't even know a cactus could bloom, right? But all these things were beautiful in their own right. Grandma sent grandma off the chart. She's like, look at what you're doing. Isabel is a mess. Her room it's everything is a mess, but it really looked beautiful. All these different colors and everything brought together. It was her creativity coming from her, not what grandmother said she should be, right? What was in her.
Touch the cactus.
They're going to watch it if they haven't, right? So it's the same thing with the church. You can see it all over. Look. Okay, so with that being that, everybody's gift began to flourish and they could live, right? But you got to see the end of it. So now back to this. I keep saying I'm gonna go back to this hellfire example of what I started with. Here's what I noticed. With the hellfire, Christians will see hell, and I realized this. It kind of started clicking when I was watching Selah Shalom the other day, and I made a comment in the comments. I was like, "Oh snap!" So what the Christians are seeing is true, like partly, but they're not seeing the end of the vision. So they're having these dreams and these experiences about hellfire and going to hell and these walls of fire, right? And from the outside looking in without understanding what's happening, it looked like, oh my God, the Father does torture you if you don't worship him, if you don't serve Jesus. This was stripping people up. If you don't worship Jesus, you're going to die in your sins, you're going to go to hell. If you don't take his blood sacrifice, you're going to die and go to hell. But what it really is reverse psychology, because if you do it, you still going to end up in hell. Because what happens? Who you worship, you gravitate to that kingdom when you die, right? So reverse psychology, they try and get you coming, they try and get you going. Reverse psychology will end you up in Lu Meng's kingdom, right? The creator of Christianity, along with the Muslim faith, Islam, and got there and it's another one. But anyway, he's the false god over those. He created all of this. And by default, by accepting blood sacrifices, human blood sacrifice, even as one blood sacrifice for all sins, by default, you lock yourself into Luamung's kingdom and you're going to end up in that place anyway, right? And so what you see is yourself in there, or the scene or whatever you are shown in hell, walls of fire, burning. It looked like it's burning forever, right? Because you don't see the end of it. Come in from the Oahspe side or the creator side, the angels, those who are in the light of the Father, those are the ones technically bringing the fire, right? They're the ones bringing the fire. They see that, okay, the angels of God is a torment, whatever. Listen, they're the ones bringing the fire, right? But it's not bringing the fire to torment you, it's to separate you, right? Until we can deliver you from this hell. Christianity never talks about being delivered from hell. They say you just burn forever. They say burn forever because they don't see the end of the vision. So to them, it looks like burning forever, right? Where the worm dieth not, the fire never goes out, and the worm dieth not, right? That's what it looks like to them. But from those who are at higher levels, have graduated a little bit higher, no, we're trying to separate you. We're trying to pull you away from the lower heavenly realms, right? Because you down there in the third heaven, you down there somewhere, right? You either on earth, you in that third heaven where all this foolishness goes on. We need to separate you with the rods of fire and the wands of water, right? Separate you. You're deranged, lashing out, all this stuff, screaming, cursing God, all this stuff, right? We need to separate you until we can deliver you to a spot where we can restore you and you can grow, right? So it looks like to them, oh my God, the Torah is burnt. You're trying to burn down the churches. No, we're not. We're trying to deliver you. We need to separate you. We need to get you away from the foolishness so we can heal you, so you can continue your journey of growth, right? They do not see that. So, but yeah, that was my whole hellfire example that I was trying to give to y'all. But this is what this whole thought and stuff that's been developing inside of me as I'm just looking at different things. I'm like, yo, this is crazy. But how can you sit them down just for a moment just to even try to explain that part to them so they can see, right? We have to like backtrack. We have to undo certain things for certain people depending on what level of spirituality they are or how deep they are indoctrinated. Some things we gotta undo everything Paul did, right? You gotta see past this, you undo that foolishness, right? To even just get you to listen to something else, because that right there keep people locked in, nothing else but the Bible. No, we don't want to hear nothing, because if let them be a curse anybody that come preaching anything else other than the gospel, even if it be an angel, right? You got to get them past that, right? What can we do to get you past that? If you're not listening, maybe you're looking. What can we put before your eyes so you can see and get you curious? Like, wait a minute, what? Huh? What? I'm gonna close my eyes too, right? Maybe we can poke you with something, right? So that's I'm looking at it, trying to what's the word? I'm just really trying to understand the different mindsets that people get in and how they're trapped in the different phases of religion, and what's the best wisdom, according to my highest light at this point, on how to reach them. Right. So that's my whole outlook on all this now. Right. I'm just like, sheesh. All right. All right, guys, let's go back. Like, we almost done. I literally will be done with this in like 3 minutes, if that. Let me finish reading the rest of this. Okay. Back to the words and definitions. Hold on, then I'll come back. Let me read this and then I'll come to the comments real quick. Okay. Bewong, church. Chant, sing. See you, laugh. Hook, cry. Sashi, star. Say, die. Hanji, birth. Sing, soap. Twinkling star. Law, fixed. Shoji, axe. Shu or Shan or Joss, a man god. Bagui, goddess of lust. Nui, evil goddess. S, spirit or spirit world. S, foam, spirit manager. Gut, carnal. Ba, father. She, stone. Aho, steam. Ganes, manhood. Nada, land. Anhai, Lord. O, love. Guan, shone. After shone, It's reference number 17, and it says Guan shine. How light. Gi ear. Indy brother. Jamie sister. Loy afterward. Cho where. Yoon how. Fu husband. Fum wife. Shu Yi tyrant. Aji see. Ma or me mother. Jaw eye. Adsa ashes. Jack arc or chest. Fan fire. Ganmi widow. Ma thou. Isho clothes. Shagoop shoes. Diga flood. Ho waters. Ten empty. Kamal cattle. Yap low come. Okum bad horse. Hoak to build. Fa hail. Gok flesh. Gone daughter. Going daughter-in-law. Dehai large. Dank great. Shad belly. Chewin garden. Lokso rain. Ongwa speaking animal, or ongui, right? Ongwa speaking animal. Gowa word. Mahal honey. Cephas fish. And after Cephas is reference number 18. And at the bottom it says Sephi fish. Back up. Bone door. Chow grass. Ga splendor. Onhu walking man or traveler. Dang turn. Dion mountain. Iguam gold. Just remember. Wan sweet. Wat WOT seed. Oiwat planted seed. The offspring of these two tribes were called Iziri or Israel. Made out of the same are these, with chine root, to wit, piugua fruit, she book, seizu right, hanshi read, monkey forget, nusalo think, galu a fool, a walking animal, dinquan deranged, him sweet, bojin tent, gakmi grain or corn, lawn rotten, gumagit crescent.
This is yours.
Those are Jeremiah's. Baja Fifi or racehorse, Shanyang goat, Binyang sheep, Lok deer, Jijiao gan, Jijiao gan ibis.
After you're done, I can get some Reese's.
Oh, girl. La Lofu tiger, Ihoji hammer, Bagui evil spirit, Wong in spirit, Fuchi trowel, Raka compass, Gao dog, Shaik stone, Jamoy sister, Jingfield Jingfi husband, and after Jingfi is reference number 19, and it says at the bottom, Jing Fu. Jing Fi is husband. Hijin Si, fall, fire. Han Shi, ashes. Page 538. Diwa, war. How, rest. Sijo, little. It Zugan, servant. Bakshan, naked. Jawjake, pain. Guat, home. Misa, buried. Shu, sleep. Haun, sound. She oog, burn. Si ung fan, joy. Chong, river. Goi, world. Gaji, magnificent. The sacred birds of Zerl were written by an outline drawing of each and every one, but the pronunciation in imitation of its speech was different in the whole of the 34 tribes. The tame, the tame, the tame quadrupeds had fewer names. In is or as, iz or easy, in is or as, there were but 22 tribes, and being the most sacred tribes of the west of the continent, their pronunciation varied less. Eolin said, because is hath kept my commandments holy, I have bestowed a new tablet, key. And that is the end of the tablet of Zerl. Okay. So let me put my marker here and put my page number. I'm gonna go back and read y'all comments. That is the end of the reading today. 8. Okay. All right, beautiful people. So hold on first. What can I say about our creator today? That's not selfish about us or giving anything to us or anything relates to us, just his magnificence and everything. Let's see. Father, you are more than wisdom personified in anything that we could ever think or imagine or even fathom. Yeah. All right. Okay, let's go back. Communicator Yaqub, shalom, shalom. All right, y'all. Lindsay, y'all, shalom, family. Yo, catch it, catch it. Hold on, let me go back up. Okay. Y'all might have just been talking amongst yourself, but I saw the comments popping through. Okay. Ooh, I like what you said, Tabitha. Remember, Tabitha is Keon Cooper. She said, the church can remain, but let Oahspe now be, you got rethought, but I think it's supposed to say, but let Oahspe now be taught. This is called renewing the mind. Yes, right? You can, matter of fact, I think because the church is coming out of let's say a deep darkness, the deep delusion, hold on to them KJVs so we can compare, right? Let's compare. Keep it side. You know how you go into the Catholic, if you ever been into a Catholic church, not that I ever went, but sometimes I found myself there because of whatever I had to go do, right? You know how they have like they have the Bible, then they have like a song book, and then I think it's like a book of prayers or something like that. Kind of let it be like that. Like requirements for coming to church now, you got to have your Bible, but you got to have Oahspe too, right? And it should be like they do it just like the Catholic. Take it, put it in the back of all the pews, right? You got one, okay. Open up your KJV. Now let's see how this is wrong. Open up the Oahspe here. Let's compare. It really, from this point, it should be like a comparing and contrasting, right? We got more than enough examples of crazed people, different personal stories, demonic activity and stuff, to where Oahspe bring a whole lot of light to things that the Bible, that church they really don't teach. They kind of, church teaches it from a I ain't gonna necessarily say without substance, but it's like, I can't even say like fly by the seat of your pants. They teach it without being, they teach it to you like in just like this whole spiritual way, to where it's like, okay, so is you just coming up with this, or you listening to another spirit? Because Oahspe teaches us like you can prophesy and you can speak and stuff, but that is the most dangerous way. That is the most dangerous way, because it leaves you open and susceptible to being infiltrated by another spirit that is not of the Father, right? And one of our brethren and sisters that is going rogue. It leaves you open to one of them to peddle information to you that's half cocked, right? Like Lumon gave Christians and Islam half cocked truths, right? They don't give them the end of it. Yeah, this will happen. Yeah, you're definitely going to hell, right? But you didn't teach us that the fires down there was actually the process of them, certain ones being delivered so that it continue to grow. You didn't really tell them that's it's a holding place until being delivered, until you realize certain things that you didn't get together while you were down on earth. Not saying you should party down harder, because sooner or later I'm gonna be delivered from hell. I can really do as thou wilt here. I'm not saying go that route. Some people may hear this and think, the Father is gracious. We can do. I'll just get it right when I get there. Not realizing how much.
Once you're done with your video, me and Jonathan cleaned up the loft. So can you send me $20?
Let's talk about this in a few minutes. Okay. Not realizing that it's gonna be so much harder once you lose your flesh. Like the flesh, getting a body is one of our first biggest gifts from our Father. Yes.
What's he said? Nothing.
Y'all move. Move. Not even with the VE. Move. Move. Go on. Look. Um, well, you made me lost my train of thought, boy. Um, yeah, our flesh is like our look. I had this dream, right? I had this dream of Chuck. I think I told y'all about this dream before, but in this dream, there was an angel that said to me, remember the dream I told y'all where I was running this race? And in the race, I could see people from like all walks of life. It was people I knew. It was a lot of my family that was there, right? And we began this race. People were beginning at their certain speeds. Some were sprinting, some were running. But I realized, and I kind of got discouraged because it seemed like I was like the slowest of all of them. I'm like, why am I moving so slow? But as I'm moving slow, my slow pace, I'm upset. I'm upset at the pace that I'm moving, not realizing that my pace was allowing me to see everybody else as well and what they were doing, right? So some of them who started off fast, they began to slow down. Even some of them that had reached this particular point of finish line, I wouldn't say it's the finish line. It was just a point in the race where you had to get orders, right? So this first leg of the race, you have to actually get going. And at the first point, there's actually, remember I told you there was like two angels there, and they had like clipboards, like coaches, like this, and just writing down everybody who was coming, what they was doing. Some people had gotten to that point, not realizing there's another leg. There's multiple legs to this race. You just started. Get your orders, right? And right there on the ground, there was this huge, beautiful tree, right? And beside this tree, you could see like it was beautiful, right? The one of the angels was standing over here and one was standing over there, just observing everybody that was coming. By the time I got there, it looked like I was like the last one, and I'm kind of upset with myself that wow, that I'm moving so slow when everybody else is just flying by. But like I said, as I was observing, I'm like, why are they still here? Some of them had stopped, didn't even go look in the box, because when you get to this leg of the race, there was this beautiful like box safe, right? It didn't have a lock on it. You were able to open it up, and inside of it was files. Everybody had a file in there with their name of it on it. You were supposed to get there, get your file out the box, find out what your destination was, and keep going, right? So as I went, it was somebody standing over there, like it looked like a couple in love or whatever, just trying to get to know one another. They didn't finish. They didn't finish this leg of the race, but they all to the side talking, doing this. Somebody over here twiddling stuff away. Some people look like they like running in circles, like going back in the other direction. Not sure if they want to cross the finish line or not, or this leg of the race. Like all of this stuff, and I'm just observing everybody. I'm like, what are y'all doing? I'm thinking to myself, what are y'all doing? I'm upset with myself that I took the longest, and I couldn't understand why I was moving so slow. It wasn't anything wrong with me. I hadn't hurt myself or anything like that. It's just I couldn't seem to make my pace go faster like I wanted to. It was like there was I want to say there was an unseen force keeping me from going so fast, but there wasn't. It was just my body. This was the pace. It was that I could keep moving and not stop. So that's the pace I kept with. And I was just there. I was like, man, I'm gonna never get there. But the more I kept moving, I just kept progressing and kept moving. And I just began to observe everything around me. People that had stopped along the way, those who were sprinting off fast, and now they stopped catching their breath and they just come to a complete stop. And I beat a lot of them to the line, and I couldn't understand, how did I beat y'all to this line? And so one of the angels, I say angels, or one of the coaches there, he said, I looked, and I'm just like, before I looked, I'm wandering around, I'm looking around, I'm looking for family members that I know that had started the race with me. I'm like, where are they at? I'm like, I know I didn't see, I saw them, but did I, did they, did they get off? Did they get off? And there were different, along the way, you could get off on different roads and stuff too, right? So I'm like, where are they at? And so then the guy with the clipboard, angel, whatever, he said, go ahead and get your orders. I said, okay. And so I got down on my knees. You know how kids, you out there playing, it's just like fall to their knees and like play with something on their knees or whatever. So I fell down in front of the box like that on my knees, and I opened it up. And when I opened it up, I saw all these files, and I noticed names of people that I knew, family members, people that I didn't know. And I'm like, and I started when I saw their files still in a box, I stopped to look around again. I'm like, I know they passed me. Where they at? Why didn't they get their file? That's what I'm like, where have they gone? What are they doing? And I'm like, oh, so I picked my file up and I'm looking through it, but I'm more concerned about everybody else that I knew that had passed me, that their file was still in the box. I'm like, and I looked around, I said, where did they go? And he was just like, he just looked, he didn't say anything. This angel over here, you had the other one over here still watching everybody. He just looked, he didn't say anything. I said, can I look at their files? And he said, I'll allow you to look. I said, can I take it to him? He said, no, you can't. They have to come get it themselves. He said, but I'll allow you to look at their files. And I said, okay. So I started picking up family members' files, going through it. I'm getting all choked up now. Look, so I was seeing things about different family members and friends from high school that I knew. And I'm like, why aren't y'all here? Where y'all at? And he said, and I spent a little bit of time. If I had to give it a time, I know it was a dream. If I had to give it a time, I'll say I was maybe there looking over everybody else's files, maybe like 20 or 30 minutes. In the dream, it seemed like, right? And so I'm just wondering as I'm going through each file, picking it out the box, looking through it. I'm like, wow. I'm like, what? Oh, and I'm looking, I'm like, oh, they don't know they got this coming. Like it was beautiful things in store in these files, but you would never know if you didn't make it to this point to get your file out the box. And nobody could tell you. These are things you have to discover on your own about your life and the path that you're on. So I'm like, oh my gosh. I said, can I say? He said, you cannot. He said, I'm allowing you to look and you can know, but they have to figure it out themselves. I'm like, man, and I'm crying. I'm like, oh my gosh, where y'all at? Where y'all at? And I'm up and I'm looking, and I'm like, where y'all at? And so, hold on, y'all, getting all teary eyed again. So he said, okay, Pam. He said, it's time for you to go. He said, you can't be here much longer. You have to keep moving. I said, okay. So I took everybody's file and I placed it back where it was at. I'm like, man, I hope y'all get here soon. Right. So I took my file. He said, all right, keep going. I was like, okay. And then I took off to the next leg according. Now I had a file with things that I know I'm looking for. I couldn't see everything, but there was a bunch of stuff in this file that I could see that I could start going towards and looking for and just figuring out along the way. Right. And so that was that dream. Look, so I said that because, hold on. Hold on. Go back up. I think it was Tabitha. She said, right, hold on. No, not that one. That's my mama said that. Back up. What'd she say? But anyway, Tabitha said, keep the church, but now begin to teach Oahspe, right? And it'll bring the whole point of saying all that and telling you that dream. I realized Oahspe brings light to a lot of things that because we don't have full information, and Constantine and his generation, they just pulled certain things they want to pick and choose from different places and canonize here, give it to the people here so they can do this. They don't realize that there's a lot of stuff missing along the way, and they don't realize that Oahspe kind of helps clear up a lot of that stuff. What is even with this whole race thing that's developed over previous generations and decades and stuff, it also adds to the tyranny and the lies and the blockers, the spiritual blockers and physical blockers. It adds it to people where they can't see the truth, because before a certain point, race was never an issue with the different color races. Adding that piece to it just further keeps people locked in tradition and stuff, to whereas now when you get to this point, you can't see past the color of the person who's bringing the information, right? So now we got to break down these blocks. It doesn't matter if they're white or black or Chinese, who's giving it. First of all, you have to realize if they're in line with the Father. First, you got to be able to recognize that. When you can recognize that, color doesn't mean a thing, right? And at this point, you should be able to decipher between truth and error, right? Even if the person who's bringing it, if they have a couple things off, you'd be able to fix, you'll be able to understand it, because you're literally going through the educational class yourself. You're developing your, not just your physical mentality, understanding, you're developing your spirit as well, because now we know that every spirit that comes in the world is a brand new spirit, and not one that's reincarnated, been here multiple generations before. When you start as a baby, you literally come as a baby, and your spirit literally is a baby. So you have your flesh to ground your spirit to keep it here, and to be able to, it's almost like your flesh is like a nanny to your young spirit, right? It's a womb for the spirit, right? And to kind of keep it grounded. Think about children as they grow, the process, the mentality. As they grow, the mentality, the spirit grows and develops. You need your body. If you screw your body away, you trick off your time and do all kinds of stuff to your body. This I know it was the gift. That's the whole reason why I told you to drink. So if you mess this body up, right, you're going to have a whole lot harder time once you pass into eternity. Though you go into the S word, the spiritual world realm, right? You'll still get to grow, but the lessons that you didn't learn while you had this gift, we call it a gift. Some people call their flesh a curse just because of what they subjected it to. If you don't learn how to control this, you're going to hurt not just yourself, but a whole lot of other people in the process. And we can see it with vehicles. If you're not trained how to drive that car appropriately, you're not going to only injure yourself, you may injure others in a row, right? If you don't control your spirit and your body, and you get behind the wheel drunk, you can possibly lose control. You may be able to still drive under the influence appropriately, but what about the other people who may be also on the road at the same time driving under the influence, or maybe new drivers who aren't that experienced, who their reaction time, defensive driving hasn't developed all the way, and now you have somebody else wheeling behind a semi truck, right? Everybody got their own reaction time. They're looking at life through their filters in the world, right? So you got all these things coming together. Y'all seen that movie Crash? It's just like that. Like, movies are, y'all got to go watch Crash. Everybody's life comes together. Everybody's life is entwined with one another. You have to get to a point where you can see that, to where you can be a defensive driver walking in this flesh with your spirit, right? Not lashing out at everybody. Oh, they so stupid, this and this and that. Nope. You should be able to at this point, you should be able to foresee that, right? You should be able to foresee that. Give them a little bit of leeway. They barreling down the road, you slow down. Don't be like, yeah, I'm gonna speed up. No, my G, you're gonna make this situation worse. You hollering, everybody else, slow down. They haven't gotten their time management under control. Slow down, let them roll by, right? You can keep yourself safe. There's a lot of things, like all this is in movies everywhere, right? Literally everywhere, all on different levels, trying to teach us the same lessons over and over and over and over and over again. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. You can see it everywhere, in the plant kingdom, in the earth kingdom, in toddlers and adults, teenagers, driving courses. It is everywhere. School is everywhere to teach the spirits to grow, right? So our flesh is our first gift from our Father. It's the first gift to our spirits from our Father, right? Listen, so in that dream, the race, in the dream, as I was walking away with my file, the angel dude guy, he said, "Oh, Pam, wait a minute. Your father left you a gift." I said, "What?" He said, "Right there." And I looked, and it was a violin. It was an instrument, right? And I also realized that our bodies are instruments. Our bodies are literally instruments, right? Even if you can't sing, your bodies are instruments. You can train your body, you can do certain things, you can develop it in certain ways to where it'll make a beautiful tune in the atmosphere. Even though you may not hear the sound, your body and your spirit gives off frequencies, your auras, the lights that flow through the central part of your body, your chakra system, all the way up and out, the aura, the egg, whatever, going all the way around you. It flows out into the atmosphere, and it affects everything around us and the people. That's why you can change the atmosphere of a room if your vibration is high enough, because you're an instrument. you can change it based on how you tune yourself, how in line you are with the Creator, how you let Him tune you to truth. When you're attuned to truth, you make a beautiful, unheard sound in the spiritual realm. And all of heaven comes and surrounds you and backs you up and helps you walk because you like you got it, like you're walking. It's man, it's so amazing, right? So you have to really learn how to play your instrument. I'm gonna stop saying walk your dog, get control of your dog, right? Because at a certain point, it shouldn't be a dog anymore that's running off the chain, right? It should be very well trained, right? And you should be able to make beautiful music with your instrument or perform tricks with your dog where people think, wait, you got a super dog, right? Look, hold on. Y'all so fit. He said, I'm definitely stopping smoking weed. It kills my frequency every time and makes me agitated at myself. Yeah, different people get different effects from certain herbs and stuff, right? Me, when I was smoking, I never could smoke a lot, right? It made me paranoid, right? And I tried both kinds, sativa and um the other kind, right? They both made me paranoid. But I did use it. There's another flag out here. I did use it for medicinal purposes when I was pregnant with Bella because I was literally I wasn't as sick as I was with Josh. Like I had to go to the hospital multiple times for dehydration and everything. But the marijuana, I was like, well, let me try this. Somebody mentions like, maybe you should smoke some weed, sis. I was like, no. So I was like, wait a minute, let me look into this. And so I started looking into it in Jamaica, and I really studied Jamaica because pregnant women smoke their whole pregnancy, right? So I started looking into it, looking at some tests. They really haven't done any like big tests or whatever. They're gonna like outlaw it. They just now allowing legal doses of it here, right, in the states. But I'm like, oh, the pregnant women, the whole pregnancy, they even like put it in the tea for their children and the school. What they get it to their children? I'm like, can't be that bad. So while after I did some research, I took about 2 weeks and I started researching, but I was sick, throwing up. I couldn't keep anything down. But I did. But I wasn't smoking like all day. I could only do 2 pulls, right? I got it down to a science. 2 pulls would get me right, and that was it. The nauseousness would go away, and I was able to eat, and I would keep the food down. And I didn't need to do it every day. I did it maybe like 3 times a week, and after after I think like 5 months, I didn't have to do it again. I didn't do it just to say, oh, just give me a reason to, smoke or whatever, to each his own, right? But for me, because of my spiritual gifts and the different things that I see, things like that cloud me and I can't. But for medicinal purposes, because I was truly using it for medicinal purposes, not trying to find a reason to do as thou wilt, because I really want to make sure I develop my gifts. It didn't harm me in any kind of way, So, but after that, when I realized I didn't need it anymore, I've never smoked again, And shucks, it's been how Bella about to be 6, so it's been about 6 years since I even smoked weed, So, but but yeah, it will. It depends on what gifts you got developing in you. It definitely will kill your frequency. Some people, it does the opposite, and they just it's a herb. I can't say anything is wrong with it. I necessarily don't think there's anything wrong with it, but that's something you have to determine for yourself, right? If you're smoking it and it sends you in certain directions and it's not good and it's not helping you to develop appropriately, then it's probably not for you and you shouldn't be doing it. But if it does the opposite, hey, let it do what it do. Yeah, it makes me paranoid too. It didn't always do that when I was younger though. Yeah, and the bodies develop as we get older. It does. It like they say after 40. I don't know because I'm over 40 now. I'm 43. But some things I realized I definitely need to be drinking more water. My husband, he got up off the bed yesterday and his knee had started just pain out. And he said, "What in the world?" And so he walking around shaking his knee, doing like he said, "Oh my God." I'm like, "Babe, it's gonna thunderstorm." He said, "What?" I said, "It's gonna thunderstorm." He said, "What are you?" And he started laughing. I was like, "You know what they say about your knees? You feel the rain coming and stuff." I said, "That's what's happening." Yeah, but we really do. As we get a little bit older, we gotta make sure the energies and electricities excuse me, I'm about to cough, are flowing through our body like they did when we were younger. We got to do a little bit more as we get older, especially if our diets haven't been the best, if we haven't been plant-based this whole time, because there are some older people in their 80s, they moving a whole lot faster than some of the younger people in their 20s, simply because of their eating lifestyle and how they get fresh air, exercise, meditate, and all that. And that's how you should be as we get old. We shouldn't be all decrepit and be breaking down. We should be getting better and stronger as we get older. That's how it's truly designed, right? But you got to tune your instrument appropriately, right? All right, y'all. We done gone on long enough today. Danielle, shalom, sis. Shalom, shalom. Good morning, sis. Yes, I'm legally blind and I smoke marijuana and it helps me. Yeah, so different people, different time. Let's see. I never smoked in my whole life because I was an asthma case. You know what? I got a nephew. He had asthma. And I ain't saying to go do this, but for him actually smoking marijuana, it actually healed him, right? And he realized that as he got older, because you had, the asthma pump and all that stuff. So he tried it and he didn't have an issue with it at all. You would think, oh my gosh, you got asthma, don't do that, your lungs. No, it actually healed him, right? He smoked weed to this day. Ain't never had another issue or nothing with asthma. I have another cousin. She didn't have epilepsy, but she started having epileptic. She started having seizures, right? And doctors couldn't figure out what was going on with her. She didn't have any kind of head trauma or anything. They just couldn't figure it out. By this time, she was a teenager, a little bit like older teenager. And I want to say she probably started a little bit. I'd say probably about 16, when she was like 16 or 17. She was still having them every now and again, and the doctor still couldn't figure it out. But she had started smoking weed. Imagine at that point, we was like in the church, like steep her mama, church, Christian, like solid rock, Jesus, the rock I stand on, I love, right? So she was sneaking around smoking weed, but she realized the weed stopped her seizures. To this day, how old is she? She's like, I'm 43. I think she's 30, 31. She hasn't had another seizure, and she smoked weed quite a few times a week, right? But she hasn't had another seizure, right? Medicinal purposes. And she don't just get it, just be get high and all that, but that's what she learned. And it stopped all them seizures she was having all them years, right? They had given her medicine and everything. It didn't really help. The marijuana stopped it, right? So I don't have anything against marijuana at all, right? I've used it for medicinal purpose. Matter of fact, we tried before my dad passed, we tried to get my dad to smoke weed. I'm like, we're gonna find some weed for daddy. But he was at the point is like, he didn't, so but all right, y'all. Let me get out of here. We gotta go. Wait, Ray, hold on. No, my sister's gonna call her right back. You said my dog looked at me when you said that. What did I say? All right, but I gotta go. Y'all got calls and stuff coming in. We gotta go. We over 2 hours. But anyway, I love y'all. I see y'all back here tomorrow morning, bright and early, 7:15 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Let me call Bella. Bella! Because I told her she could end it. Oh, there you go. Come on, we're about to end it, girl. All right, y'all. I love y'all. I see y'all. See y'all back here tomorrow. All right, come on and end it.
Well, next, where are we going? I know where we're going.
Come on, girl.
To our school.
Girl, get down. No, Sylvan is closed today. They out for break. Come on. All right, y'all. Peace. And this one.
Mom. Mommy.